Now, if I could only buy one Jeep product, it would be this Wrangler Rubicon behind me. Let's get into it. So let's start on the front hood over here. The Rubicon actually has the 392 style hood, which is really cool. You don't get that on some of the other trims. We also have the red and black Rubicon lettering here along the side. I've said this in the past, I don't love when manufacturers kind of go over the top with branding and stickers and all that stuff, but I do think Jeep actually made it look pretty decent and modest here. On the fenders, on this bright white colorway, we have the color matching fenders. On some of the different color options that you have on the Wrangler Rubicon, you'll actually get the black plastic matted fenders. I don't think you can go right or wrong either way, just something to note. On the front grille, we do have the matted black front grille. No 360-degree camera, no front-facing camera. I don't know, I probably would have liked to have seen that, but it's not the end of the world. We do have the signature Jeep headlights right here, super bright LEDs. We have the red recovery hooks because this is the Rubicon. We also have the steel enforced front bumper, and then we have a steel skid plate underneath as well. Now under the hood, we have a few powertrain options for the Wrangler. Right here though, we have the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 engine producing 285 horsepower. You can also get the 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4-cylinder. That does give you less horsepower, but more torque. So I guess it kind of just comes down to what you prefer. For me, body on frame vehicle, I would go with the 6-cylinder all day, every day. It's been around for longer. It has a higher probability for reliability. And again, I would personally rather have that higher horsepower, but let us know down below, what do you think? All right, so let's talk tires and wheels. We have 33-inch BF Goodrich KO2 tires. There is an optional 35-inch tire upgrade that you could make. We have 17-inch aluminum alloy wheels. For suspension, we have solid axle in the front, coil springs in the back, and we'll get to this later, but we also do have the electronic sway bar disconnect feature as well. And then we have approximately about 10.8 inches of ground clearance. In the back of the Rubicon, we do have the full-size spare tire, and as you can see, we do have the split tailgate with the glass coming out. You can have it just like this, which is great if you're hauling things such as 2x4s or rugs and carpets or whatever, or if you just have pets who like sticking their head out the window, this is a great feature. Now we do have the swinging tailgate here, which I love that. As far as space goes, we have enough. I mean, you know, you're never gonna confuse the Wrangler Rubicon with a minivan as far as how much storage space you have, but you do have enough to store most things. And then you even have this little hidden compartment, which, I don't know, you could fit some trail mix back there or whatever. You know, again, it's not a ton, but it's nice to have it at least. All right, let's talk about the inside. We do have fabric seats with the Rubicon red stitching. These are heated seats. Now you can upgrade for leather interior, but just like anything in 2026, man, every single upgrade you make is going to cost you more money. So it just comes down to what you value. And if you think you need that, not a big deal to me. We have the all-weather floor mats. We have the leather wrapped heated steering wheel. And I'm just gonna tell you, the heated steering wheel is the most underrated, undervalued feature I think ever. It's kind of cold outside right now, and this is the only thing keeping my hands warm, so it does work. Now, as far as infotainment and technology goes, you're not gonna see anything necessarily new on the 2026. They did improve the processing power on the touchscreen, so things should feel more responsive, better connectivity with the wireless connection for Apple and Android. We have our front and rear locking controls right here, as well as the sway bar disconnect. We have 4 auxiliary channels that you can use to program for aftermarket lights later on down the road. Our gear selector, our old school e-brake, and then for your instrument cluster, you kind of have this half and half of analog and digital. The digital section only gives you bits of information, so I don't know. Some people like the analog, some people like the digital. You can let us know what you think. Now, the #1 best feature they added is the ability to remove the side doors without the need of a tool. So we have this little clip right here on the inside of the hinge. It's very easy to remove that. You pull back this panel, remove this tether, and then the doors just come off. So you can do everything by hand, which it's almost silly that they didn't have this before, but I'm glad that they finally added it to the 2026. All right, so we're gonna just take this on the road for a little bit here, kind of test some of the driving impressions, how it feels. Now, I'm gonna be honest, in a perfect world, this has a V8. But the reality is the general just consumer market, they don't want V8s anymore. I think it's only the very small minority of enthusiasts who still do. So I think the V6 is good enough. So let's try to rev it up just a little bit here, maybe go quarter throttle. I mean, it's not nothing. Definitely has some zip, which you're not buying this truck, this Jeep, you're not buying this for its top end 0 to 60 speed. But obviously, if this is more of your daily driver, you want to make sure that you can merge onto freeways comfortably. Now, when it comes to pricing, this Rubicon is listed at $62,000. It is available for sale right now at Dick's CJDR of Wilsonville. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to throw us a like and subscribe for more content.